Honourable Nanaia Mahuta.
Mr Speaker, Labour makes no apologies for opposing the first reading of this bill because it deserves to be put under a bright red line test which Labour believes is necessary. 1, to ensure the protection of whenua is at the heart of the bill, and 2, to ensure that owners, big or small, no matter where they are throughout the country, have their interests protected. And we will be vociferous in our attention to the detail, because we could get carried away on the emotion, but we won't, because owners deserve a thorough look at the detail of this particular bill, which we believe actually challenges some of the fundamental aspects of what Māori believe the protection of land is all about. So let me just point to a couple of things. There's a subtle change in language. In the bill that's being proposed, there is a great emphasis on retention and utilisation. However, at the heart of the Ture Whenua Māori Act, the presumption was around protection. Yes, albeit with a heavily framed role for the Māori Land Court, but the presumption was about protection. Two very different meanings if you care to look at the dictionary. We will be testing officials on this matter. We also believe that certain questions should be asked. Are the provisions of the bill weighted in favour of protection to ensure that disposition or sale or loss of land will not occur? Now, if I was to take on board Marama Fox's contribution, it's absolutely not going to happen. Yet, Clause 140 following on disposition actually allows land to go to an engaged recipient or a governance body, no mention of whakapapa. So we will put a bright line test on those types of provisions. The other areas where we have concerns are on decision-making thresholds and participation of owners. We would like to know, all through the process, is there an ability to re-enfranchise owners who previously may have been cut out of a process as promoted in the bill? Now, it deserves attention, because if we absolutely believe that at the heart of Māori connection to our whakapapa and to our whenua is fundamental to who we are, our sense of identity, then it deserves questions, and we will ask them, and we're not afraid to be challenged on that. Mr Speaker, we'll also ask, be careful what you wish for, because this is a diminishing role for the Māori Land Court. Yes, albeit re-engaging owners to make decisions. However, we would like to know whether or not this is just a kick and a flick to the Māori Land Court and their role, because they have built a judicial body of knowledge which is very helpful, which many people have to kind of look to in terms of building a case to make their connections in terms of succession to land and the like. I do want to comment briefly on the points made by Meka Whaitiri. There are a number of issues which aren't addressed by the bill. The Select Committee will give due attention to that, because if we're looking at fundamental barriers to utilisation, rating and valuation of Māori land is absolutely necessary. Without a word of a doubt, I have to follow the lead of my colleagues from Meka and Calvin and Penny, because the great majority of interests affected by this bill are in their electorates. So we need to be sure and robust and give the absolute confidence to owners whether or not this bill actually achieves what it says it's going to. We have questions. We're not convinced. We don't believe it should pass the first test. We were concerned at the exposure draft and some of the omissions that were there, that along the way, as a result of consultation and concerns from people, they started to get slotted in. Mr Speaker, this bill deserves a whole heap of attention. It has undergone a number of iterations. The Speaker, Peter Perone for New Zealand First, made the comment around the reference to tikanga, but no particular definition. I had another look at the bill as well. I couldn't see the definition in the interpretation clause. So, again, a simple point made by a colleague, but it deserves to be addressed, because, again, whether or not you would define tikanga and have it within the context of a bill is a question which deserves attention of the Select Committee. We will not be criticised for politicising this issue, because if the Māori Party wanted this issue to be totally partisan and non-partisan, they would have consulted with all parties in the House prior to the exposure draft going out to consultation. They did not. They are politicising this issue. They are making this a wedge issue for Māori. We've demonstrated that we've been constructive through the Te Reo Māori bill. We will not be criticised on being political on the Ture Whenua Māori. It's a far too important an issue. Owners deserve better answers than what they're getting from the Māori Party. And politicians should be political.
I call